everybody, it's Sam from Kavee and welcome to today's video. So today we are going to be building a 3x2 double C&C cage, double meaning 2 tiers, so we're going to have 2 3x2s. As we're going on, I'm going to try and explain to you how to do it with a 4x2 as well, but I personally will be building a 3x2. So the size of the 3x2 altogether is going to be 1.5 meters. So that's in heights as well. So 1.5 meters on the top, 105 centimeters. Same with the width, the length as well. So height in that way, and then this way, so kind of the width will be about 70 centimeters. But as I'm explaining, I'll kind of go through it with you as well. The 4x2 is that little bit bigger. It is 140 centimeters, so 1.4 meters. So in the same kind of way of height and the length. So with cages like this, the 3x2, we only advise that you have 1 guinea pig in there at a time, and it's only as a temporary solution. So it shouldn't actually be a permanent living situation. So if you need to separate 2 guinea pigs for a short period of time, the 4x2 can have 2 guinea pigs at a time as well. So if you have a 4x2 double stand, you can have 2 sets of guinea pigs that get along really well as well. So that will be super lovely. If you need help choosing your C&C cages as well, we do have a video where we kind of offer advice and give you kind of ideas of what you'd probably best suit depending on how many guinea pigs you have. So check out that video as well. So let's get building. As I said before, I'm going to be building a 3x2. So anybody else that's building a 4x2, you're going to do exactly the same as I'm doing, but you're just going to do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to do 3 at the front. People doing 4x2 will do 4. But it's still going to be 2 on the sides as well. So I'm just going to start off with a corner. Going into the corner is a little bit easier, kind of adding to it, and it can stand up by itself. So just getting 2 grids, and we're just going to put them kind of at a right angle, and just making sure that they're securely put in when you are doing it. So you can apply a little bit of force. If you are going to apply some force, remembering to kind of apply it to the outside of the cage and not so much into the meshing. There we go. So I'm just going to put a little bit on top. There we go. So there's one of the corners. Oh no, I've already done the first mistake. Have I? Yes, I have. Right, I'm thinking as I'm going, so I'm going to correct myself now. So the top ones, the most easiest thing to kind of think with the double C&C cages is making sure that your connectors are always facing upwards. So kind of, we're going to do from here. All the top ones are going to be vertical. So we have horizontal ones on the floor because they're flat, so they need to be on a flat surface. Whereas the ones that are going to be onto this level, because we're going to connect things on top of it, we're going to keep them vertical, okay? So I went into pilot mode, but hopefully I've just stopped you from doing the same. So there we go. Perfect. So remembering that from now, anything that's touching the floor is going to be facing upwards. So flat bit on the floor, and then everything on this level is going to be vertical to put things on top of. So keep doing the same thing by going grid to connector and bits like that. And I'm just going to carry on doing the exact same thing that I've done, remembering 4x2s to add your extra one on the end. So I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so now that you've kind of done your 3x2 or your 4x2 cage, if you're not a pro like me, keep checking your connector orientation. So making sure that the bottom ones are all flat so it's nice and easy on the surface, and then all of the top ones are vertical. So I was going to say I'll give you some time to check now, but you've been checking this whole time, so it's fine. We're going to move on. The next thing that we're going to do is actually put the Korox sheets into the base, because you may have realized there are no grids at the bottom. We do not need grids at the bottom of these cages, so please save your ones just for the edges. For this particular base, we don't need it. The Coroplast sheets that we provide, they are going to be sturdy enough to be your base. So remembering that if you did kind of put any bottom ones on there, it might create an uneven surface and things like that. So we keep it as that. It's sturdy enough to do the base, so don't worry about it. So I'm just going to pop this cage a little bit out of the way, and we'll get the Korox sheets and I'll show you how to do that bit next. Cool, so we've just popped our cage just a little bit out of the way now, and we're going to move on to the Koroks folding part. So building the double 3x2, you'll actually be needing both of these. I've just chosen green because it's right next to me, but we have tons of colours you can choose from as well. So these are the 3x2 bases there. So you'll need 2 of these for the double second tier. Right now we'll just fold the one. So when you've laid it flat, you'll kind of just see at the bottoms there are some bits that need to be folded. So there's kind of little outside bits. You'll see the lines of where to do them. And we're just going to get them and we're just going to try and make them a little bit more flexible. So we're just really going to push down on them. Ooh, they're quite robust. So you'll be able to really kind of do it. There we go. And last one. And you'll kind of hopefully seen by now, that's like all my weight on it. Like, so you'll kind of see by now as well the corners, the outsides of the Coroplast sheets. So you'll see little tabs and kind of little slots where they need to go in. How we're going to fold these ones is kind of feeding them through the outside in. Once you kind of get it from the inside, you're just going to carry on and pull it through. So you can be a little bit forceful with these. This is the exact same principle as well for your 4x2 sheets. So laying it out flat, folding the corners up and then folding them in. So from the outside in, feed it through, pull it all the way, and there's your tab there, and it will stay nice and secure in the corners as well. So same again, get the tab outside in, feed it through. And last but not least for this one, there we go. So now that you've got one of them done, all you have to do is just fold the other one. What we'll do now is I'll quickly fold the other one just off the camera, and then we'll get ready to kind of assemble and go from the next steps. So now that you've got your kind of cage like this, similar to the 4x2 or 3x2, we are now going to add the Coroplast sheet into the cage. So this is the same principle for the 4x2s as well. So just get the Coroplast that you've already folded and it should just kind of fall slot really nicely there, just like that. So that's it like that too. So the next section that we're actually going to move on to now is the kind of second layer that will connect the second part of the cage up top. So we're going to have a little bit of a layer here, and then on top of that we'll add yet another 3x2 C&C cage. I've really got to think about this. So this as the transition layer, we're going to need about 5 more grids. So 5 more of those, and we'll need 8 more connectors. Still keeping in your head vertical connectors. So that is important. So this bit's going to be a little bit different from the 4x2. So 4x2s, just hold tight for me because in a moment I will grab a 4x2 cage and explain that one as well. So for 3x2s, we are going to slot nicely in the 2 corners here. Ooh, oh, that's just come out, hasn't it? That's not very good. There we go. Let's line them up. There we go. So, remembering that it's just kind of easier to line up one and then the other. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one grid, kind of one here, and one there and one there. So 2 on the sides and 1 in the middle. So I'm kind of doing this as this is going to be the back of the cage. So 1 will be stood here in the middle for the back of the cage. If you're doing it from the front, then just wherever the back of the cage will be. So essentially it'll be, whoopsie, there we go. So 1 here, 2 on each side, all right. And then when we're connecting up the top, remembering to do vertical connectors. That's probably going to get really annoying, me saying that, but that's me telling myself. So if it helps me, it'll help you. So I'll do that one too, keeping vertical. So we're not going to need any more, so we're not going to add anything here because that's going to be a bit later on for the cage. So let's slot that one in really nicely, and let's do the exact same that we've done onto the other side. But remember, we can still use all of our connectors that we've been using before. There we go. Because this is going to connect the whole part of the other cage. We've still got so much to do. Oopsie. The microphone is letting me breathe. Thank you. Sorry if that just got caught on there. That sounded very horrible, but it's fine. Okay, and let's place the other one there too. There's no particular order to do this in. It was probably easiest to do 2, 2, and then 1. But in terms of just kind of trying to explain it, I've just kind of gone wherever the wind takes me. One, and hey, come back. The good thing about these connectors is as well, as long as you've kind of got one connected, you can kind of rotate to try and get the other one in as well. So the connectors are super, super important. So checking that they're all vertical. Yes, they are. And that's my last piece there for that one. So double check right now that your orientation is all correct for your connectors. So they're all vertical from this point onwards, because remembering we are going to be adding the base floor, and then we're also going to be doing another cage on top. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pause for the 3x2s just for a second. We're going to bring a 4x2 cage in, and I'll tell you how to do this part, so the second layer. So I'll be right back. Hello 4x2 friends. So this part is where we're going to add the second layer before the kind of second part of the cage. It's almost like the transition layer almost. So what we're going to need for this part, we're going to need 6 grids, so 6 more of these ones, and we'll need 9 more connectors for this part. So double checking that your connector orientation is all the right way round, so all vertical from this point, and it will be the same for this one too. So similar to the 3x2 ones, we're going to be putting them on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, they're going to go like that. But we need a little bit of extra sturdiness in the middle here, because obviously it's a bigger cage. So we're going to do 1 here and 1 in the corner. So I'm going to start with, probably the outdoor ones first. So let's go over there. So I don't think it really matters where you start. I think I'm just like that little bit extra lazier, where you're just going to try and put them the furthest away ones away first. So still connecting them from the top, being vertical, okay? So that side is kind of facing out. There we go. Cool. And we'll do the same for the other side here too. There we go. And it's always good that if you've kind of done, there we go. So just like that, where I had 3 bits to try and connect in, it's always good to do the 2 that are kind of on the same level, and then you've got a little bit more to move the other one in. So once again, vertical. So that side is done. We're going to do the exact same just over on this side. Because the reason we're doing this bit vertical is because the floor is actually going to be the next part here. So we need to make sure that we can slot the actual part of the floors into the connectors. And nice little click sounds there. Whoopsie. There we go. And pop that back just inside there. So what I'm going to do is, I do also have to connect these 2 at the top, but I'll just remind you where we're putting these ones. So they're going to be the back of the cage. So this isn't the front of the cage. I'm sitting at the back. This bit's going to be the front. So we're going to keep that one wide open so you've got access to get into this lower cage. But this one here is going to be the back of the cage. So 1 in the corner, leave 1 space, 1 over here. Cool. And then just connecting exactly the same as you've been doing. So keeping them vertical. I'm doing this backwards and I'm just trying to like, which way am I going? There we go. And I should have 2 left, like I do. There we go. So this is a really good point now, before we get on with the floor, to just really keep reiterating this, so I'm sorry about that, but just checking your connector levels. The next part of the actual step is going to be doing the floor. I am going to continue demonstrating on my 3x2 double cage, but it's going to be the exact same process. The only thing that's a little bit different with the 4x2 are these 2 here. So if you've got that right, we're now going to go onto the floor. So get ready. Cool, so now that you're kind of on this stage, we're kind of making sure that all the connectors are vertical at this point. We're now going to move on to the next part, which is the floor. So the flooring of the cage, so the flooring of kind of the second cage is going to be on top. We are going to need 6 more grids and 4 more connectors. So this bit's a little bit important. How we're going to do it is we are just going to focus on doing the kind of back row first. So remembering that I'm kind of sat where the back of the cage is, this will be the front of the cage. That way when we build on it, it kind of makes it a bit more, adds a bit more rigidity for it. So let's get going then. So I'm just going to start off by putting these 2 in here. So the back 2, and just once again, clicking them into place. And then we can kind of get that one in there. So there's the first one done. Excuse me. And we're just going to go the exact same. So right now I'm going to focus on doing the back. and then we're going to go to the top 3. But just stay with me for this part because I'm actually going to explain something a little bit important about the connectors that are going to be in this part only. So remembering, as we did everything earlier, they're all going to be facing vertical. There's only going to be 2 that are going to be facing downwards, and that's going to be these 2 middle ones. So get your connector, we'll get your flat top up, and we'll do this one just here now just to show you. Because as we can see, they're obviously a little bit more moving, aren't they? So we can get those ones in, click them in, and there's like that little bit less there. And then we're going to do the exact same just on this side. So connecting these in. Whoop. There we go. So all 3, and we can click them together as well. And once again, this one being horizontal. So click. That was a nice click. So now that we've kind of done the back layer here, at the moment you'll still think, oh my god, it's moving though. We're going to put on the other 3, and I'll explain a little bit later on just kind of how the next layer will add more rigidity. So please don't worry about it at this stage. But exact same 3 that we've done here, we're going to do the same for the front, except that the connectors, when we connect them on this side, are going to be vertical again. Whoop. So I'll start with this one. And then we can connect that one in there. And connecting into that one. I'm actually just going to come over instead of leaning over and put this one so it is vertical. So those 2 are the only ones that are going to be flat, and they're going to be the ones that are in the middle. And then we can do it here for the last one as well. So connecting those ones. And we can add that one in there too. So there we go. There's the kind of floor for the second 3x2. Get in there. There we go. Remembering that these ones are going to be vertical and these 2 are horizontal. At the moment, you're probably thinking, this can't be the floor, it's so bendy. Obviously, this isn't how it's going to be. So the next part, when we put the next layer up, is going to add much more rigid to the actual frame itself. It'll create a really nice sturdy wall for it, so none of this will be there. But yes, let's move on to the next stage, which is going to be building the second 3x2 cage on top of this one. So let's go. Final step. Okay, so same as we've done before. So essentially, we're actually just going to do the exact same. And now you can actually kind of see how the cage is taking its form. So you've got the big gap there, so you can actually kind of reach and get into the guinea pigs here. Remembering that this side is the back of the cage. So for this part, I am just going to go around and do the edges of the cage. This is now going to be the second part of it. So just doing what we've done before. So just connecting into the vertical ones, and now because we're at the top of the cage, the connectors that you see now can go in, and they can be the top of your cage as well. So they can be flat top facing upwards, crisscross down the bottom. So I'm going to get on with that, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Cool, so that is now the second 3x2 cage kind of complete. All we need to do now is just add our coroplast sheet, which I have just over here. So your second 3x2, or your 4x2, I guess, at this point. And just the same as we've done before. Whee! Oh, I was hoping that one would do like a really nice drop, but so let's lift that bit up. There we go. And let's just go around and just make sure that all the corners are kind of down and nothing's just hanging out. There we go. So, oh my gosh. Ta-da! I don't know about anybody else, but I am chuffed with this. So there is our C&C 3x2 double cage. 2 tiers, so remembering that this particular cage is only for 1 guinea pig at a time. and that's only as a temporary solution as well, so not as a standard living thing. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually come and decorate this and kind of show you what it looks like when it's fully done. But this is it, the 2 double massive cage. So this is it, guys. This is our double 3x2 C&C cage. As you can tell, it's pretty tall. So this is it when it's kind of all decorated and things like that. Remembering that 2 3x2 cages can still only home 1 guinea pig, but only as a temporary solution. So this is only for that. If your 4x2 is looking like this as well, then congratulations, you've done it. Obviously 4x2s being that little bit bigger, they can have 2 pairs of guinea pigs in each one. But this is it. Everything that you see here, our fleece liners, the cages, the Koroks, and everything like that, you can purchase via our website. So please do check it out if you're interested in doing something like this for your guinea pigs. Available on our website, like I said, so that'll be in the description box below. So don't forget to comment, like, and everything like that. Comment us what you think of this madness, you'll say, and you'll say, Sam, oh my God, I can't believe you're not sweating. I am. So remembering as well that it's super easy to build. C&C cages are much more easier to kind of increase, decrease, and modify and things like that. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't got one already. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!